Oh, hi there, traveler. Pull us here up at the bar. I'll be with you in just a moment. So, made a decision? What can I get you? Coffee? Tea? House special? You can always stick around. Never know what you'll find at the tavern.
Hello, I'm Phoenix Arden. I use they them pronouns.
And I'm Eve Handyside. I use any pronouns.
And this is Talkin In The Tavern. Hey,
Woo!
we're
Episode
back.
2!
It's episode 2. It's July. We're actually recording this the same month as it goes out, which is slightly radical for us.
Not happened before.
I don't think so, no. I think normally we're
No.
quite far ahead.
Yeah, this episode comes out in 4 days. You know? Something like that.
We might have had a little incident where we kind of forgot that we needed to record this, and then suddenly it was July.
Yeah, we remembered yesterday.
To be fair, you
Good
were
for
on
us.
holiday.
I was
And-
on holiday.
I'm in the process of buying a house, so neither of us have
So-
been like super,
On the ball.
on the ball. Yeah.
Yeah, good for us.
Yeah. So
But-
we were having a little chat about what we should do, what our like theme thing for this episode should be, and Eve found this thing that I'd never heard of before, called the mid-year freakout tag.
Woo! It's created by Read Like Wildfire and Earl Grey Books. I found that out as well. And it basically just goes through the books that we've read this year and asks us questions about it. So, we've got a list of 14 questions we're going to go through today.
Yeah, so it's like books you've read and then like upcoming stuff and things like that.
Yeah.
And we've both written down our answers and then we're just going to go through them and have a chat as we go. And hopefully this episode will be shorter than the last one.
Which was accidentally an hour.
But we make no promises, so
No,
buckle
none
in.
at all. Get ready.
Let's start with question 1, which is the best book we have read so far this year. So I have a two-way tie because I could not choose.
Same.
So it's between Bookshops and Bone Dust by Travis Baldry
Of course.
and Frontier.
Comes out this December. Frontier. Oh my god.
by Grace Curtis. Yeah, Bookshops and Bone Dust hasn't come out yet, but we have both read it. So
Yes, it's fantastic.
because both of them were 5-star reads, and I read them one after the other, in fact, and I loved them both. And I just couldn't quite decide between the two.
Bookshops and Bone Dust is like perfection. I haven't read Frontier, but I need to.
It's so
sounds
good.
so good because that's the sci-fi western.
It is indeed sci-fi western.
Oh,
Hell yeah. Where it's like 300 years of like post-apocalypse Earth and somebody who was in space because most of Earth's population like left for space and then they've had no contact with Earth, and then somebody came back because their ship crashed on Earth and they got out in an escape pod, and then they're like trying to get back to their ship, and it's super like westerny vibes. It's incredible.
I need to read it. It
And-
sounds amazing.
Bookshops and Bone Dust, it's a prequel to Legends of Latte. It's like, what's not to love? It's literally
Which
got
is-
bookshops and necromancy and bakeries
Mystery.
and romance and mystery, and it's very cute and cozy, and we love it.
And it's in my top 10 of this year already, and it's so good. It's the
Yeah.
perfect prequel. Oh my god, Travis Baldry, you hit it out the park.
He really did. He really did.
It's insane. I loved it. I also have a two-way tie. I didn't count. I was gonna put Bookshops and Bone Dust, see, and then I didn't because I was like, it comes out in December. I'll do my two other favourites.
I'll
from this
see.
year.
I was like, it is a book that I have read this year, so
Fair enough.
I counted it.
I'll just put a subtle. I that's probably here as well.
Yeah.
But like the two I have written down officially is A Sam for the World Built by Becky Chambers, of course. And Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin, which is really unsurprising for my friends who know because I just keep talking and talking about this book.
Yeah,
And it's like
much like you with Frontier, I keep meaning to read tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow.
It's so good. I don't read contemporary, and it's contemporary, and it's one of my favourite books, and it doesn't make sense. But, you know, we're here. It's about friendship and people making video games together, and it's delightful. And A Song for the Wild Built, Becky Chambers. It's Becky Chambers. Who doesn't love Becky Chambers?
I've not met a single person who's read a Becky Chambers book and not liked it. Exactly. I'm sure they exist, but I haven't met any of them, and I'm happy about that.
Exactly. They don't get an opinion. they need to get a better opinion. Becky Chambers is elite.
Exactly. I like how right out of the bat, it's like, best book you've read, and we both gave multiple answers.
Yeah. I've given like multiple answers for everything.
Yeah, there's quite a few of these that I've picked
bad.
multiples for.
I'm not a single track person.
You can't expect me to pick my favourite child.
Exactly. That's horrible. How dare they? They should feel
right.
Exactly. So moving on to question 2, best sequel you've read so far. You know how I just said I've got like multiple answers for everything. I've only picked one here, and that is Nona the Ninth. Because I read that this year.
Did you read that this year?
So seemingly, I read it like just in January. Like I must have read it over Christmas or something. So it's in it was like one of my first of the year.
Oh yeah, because you didn't get it until Christmas, did you?
Yeah, I got it quite late.
Oh yeah, because I remember, because I was there for months being like, you need to read it so I can talk about it.
Exactly, and I was like waiting for it to become available to me, but yeah, it just took forever. But it's like, surprisingly, one of the only sequels I've read this year, which is so unlike me.
I have also not read many sequels this year, so I was also very limited in my choice.
For anyone who doesn't know, None of the Ninth is the third book in the Locked Tomb series by Tamsin Muir. It's excellent. Necromancers in Space and Lesbians. Please go read it. It's fantastic.
Just go read the Locked Tomb series if you haven't, and if you have read the Locked Tomb series, go read it again.
Exactly. We're doing you a favour. Go read it again.
Just keep reading them over and over until bloody Alecto comes out.
At some point.
I hate to say it, but I don't think that's going to be this year.
Because we a slight insight, we wanted to do it for book club for when it was technically scheduled for October, but it probably won't be out for then, so unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
I think like a bunch of, I think it was like, I can't remember if it was like Kindle or it was like a bunch of ebook stores and Goodreads and stuff all suddenly said like, oh, it's coming out in October. Like, not like officially, but that was like put on the release date on these things. But the publisher hasn't said anything about a release date, so I don't think it's going to be this year.
Probably not.
Which is fair enough, because it has only been a year since Nona.
That's
but still.
Still.
I want it now.
Yeah. But I would rather wait and have it be perfect than it be rushed. So.
Oh, absolutely. Especially because this is the last book.
Yeah.
So it needs to like.
I've got such high expectations.
Yeah. I trust Tamsin Muir not to let us down.
Yeah. Love her with my whole soul. Yeah. What's your best sequel?
So my sequel, I didn't pick just a single one because it's a series. I have been binging them recently. It's a series called Cute Mutants by S.J. Whitby.
I'm getting around to them. I'm in a really bad reading slump. I need to read them.
Yeah, you like when you're in a slump, you've got to read something that you know you're gonna like.
Exactly.
To like get you back into the read. So I totally get that. But yeah, so I read, I think the first. So I started with a book that was actually a spin-off of the series, and then went back and read them all. I'm currently reading book 5 in the series, and they're incredible. It's about this group of like feral little gays in New Zealand who get superpowers and end up like basically just being treated like the mutants from the X-Men, and it's really good. And there's some bits I don't love, but most of it's pretty good. They're like YA and very gay and very fun and like silly, and I enjoy them.
I've read 50 pages. They're pretty good.
I think, let's see, so that was one. Yeah, the only two other things that I've read this year that are sequels are both graphic novels. So I was like really strapped for choice.
Fair enough. Oh yeah, yeah. What is it bloody called? The Lonely Ghost Club. The Sad Ghost Club.
Yeah, the Sad Ghost Club.
The third one came out in March, and oh my god, it was fantastic. Oh,
that was like my other. It was between those two, and then I was like, I've been reading Cute Mutants recently, and I want to talk about it. So
yeah.
So I did.
I'll get around to reading them, and we can talk about them because I need to read them.
They're good fun, and they're not like really difficult reads.
Exactly. Yeah.
But you do have to be in the right sort of headspace for them. So, yeah, that would be my answer for best sequel I've read so far. So far, because I do have a couple of sequels on my TBR.
Same.
So, come the end of... Maybe we should do this again in, like, December.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I think there is a tag for December, so we can definitely do that.
Great, good. I'm going to write that down, because otherwise I'm going to forget.
Okay.
Because, like, 30 minutes from now, I'm going to be like, I know I had a good idea somewhere. I've written it down because typing... Listeners might well have heard my clickety-clackety keyboard in past episodes.
I can't cut all the clickety-clacketies out.
No.
I try
There's
my
nothing
best.
I can do about it either. I have, like, fiddled so much with my mic settings, but I can't make it not happen, so... Sorry, gang. I'll just try not to type too much.
Or if you do, go silent.
It's just my keyboard. It just makes that much noise.
Sure. They're actually making the sound effects for their mouth while they're doing it. No.
Really impressive for those times where I'm talking at the same time.
You're a pro voice actor.
I wish. Okay. So, let's go on to question 3,
yes.
which was a recent or new release that you haven't read yet but want to. So, I sort of struggled a little bit with this one because a lot of the books that I have on my TBR are either books that came out, like, before this year, or books that haven't come out yet because they're arcs. So I was like, which books do I have that are actually recent releases? And then I remembered that I bought one on Monday at work that came in that was brand new, that I was like, oh, this looks interesting. Which was non-fiction, which is bizarre for me.
Okay.
And it's called It's Not Just You, How to Navigate Eco-Anxiety and the Climate Crisis.
Ooh.
And it's all about the climate crisis and how, even though sometimes it feels like we are, totally alone in terror and fear, that there's lots of other people out there. And it's also about how, like, you're not the only person being affected, and it's important to think in terms of, like, community and other communities. So I'm quite excited to read that, which is weird because I'm very rarely excited to read a non-fiction book.
That's so cool. I love that.
Yeah, so that's my
yeah.
That's my answer for that one, because it sounds really interesting.
That's so fun. I'm going a completely different route than you for this.
Naturally.
Yeah, mine's like their book club pick for this for next month is Camp Damascus by Chuck Tingle, which comes out in 10 days, which is
something like that.
A recent, in air quotes, release or new that is coming out. If I can't wait for it. Queer sleepaway camp that's horror. Can't wait.
Yeah.
That's like, because I struggled with this question too. I was like, what am I putting here? So I was like, Chuck Tingle, the obvious answer. I also have one more, but like it came out last month, which is The Water Outlaws by S.L. Hahn.
That's recent.
Yeah, The Water Outlaws.
I've heard this.
Yeah,
I've heard this title somewhere.
All I know is it's Chinese Asian Robin Hood. That's all I know about it. And I want to read it.
Oh, I like the cover.
It's gorgeous.
That is gorgeous.
I need to read this so badly.
Yeah, I feel like I maybe saw this on like upcoming releases list at some point.
Yeah.
Because it does sound familiar to me.
I think I've probably mentioned how pretty it was before. Because oh my gosh, it's
Probably.
gorgeous. Another blue cover. But, you know...
It's like a nice blue, though. It's like a tealy, bluey green.
Yeah.
It's not like blue.
There's different flavours of blue in it.
Yeah, there's nice blue, and then there's fucking Fitzcarraldo editions. I'm calling them out on the air. I hate Fitzcarraldo editions with a passion. They are so ugly and boring.
Yeah. Oh my god. Every book seems to be blue in this economy.
Honestly.
Make them other colours.
Please, diversify.
Please. I want, like, a neon orange. Give me something else. But yeah, no, that looks really fun. But those are, like, the only two I can really think of at the top of my head that are kind of new that I want to read. Because most of my TBR is also ages ago.
You'll have to let me know how the Water Outlaws is, because
Absolutely.
I am also curious. So.
It looks so good. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to move on to question 4, which is most anticipated upcoming release. So, okay. It's all of the secret projects for Brandon Sanderson.
Of course.
All of them were anticipated because I love him so much, so I'm gonna read them. It's also as well as Defiant, which recently got a cover reveal, which is the last book in his, I can't remember the series title, but it's the Skyward series. If you don't know, it's Sky Fighters, whatever they're called, jet fighters in space. It's fabulous, and there's
Sky Fighters.
Sky Fighters. Oh my gosh, whatever the ship fighter things, and with cool aliens, and oh my god, it's fantastic. I can't wait for that. Yeah, all of his work, everything, all of his 8 books that are coming out this year, as well as Electo the Ninth. But we'll see.
It's just insane.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, Electo the Ninth is on my list as well. But I did write.
Probably not.
I did write it down with a little plus beside it, because I don't think it's coming this year, even though I wish it would.
We can hope, but I don't know. Probably. Hopefully next year at the latest.
Yeah, I think it will be next year. Hopefully,
probably.
Fingers crossed.
And then it will be a book club pick, because
it will
be.
As soon as there is a confirmed release date for this book, we will be on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like. It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Yeah, I did put that on my list, but I was also like, I'm gonna have to come up with other stuff because I don't think it's coming this year.
Yeah.
So I have also put for anticipated upcoming release. I have put Camp Damascus because it is an upcoming release.
Oh shit! Yeah.
And then the other one I've written down here is Godly Heathens,
Ooh.
which is by H.E. Edgman, who wrote a series that I really loved recently called The Witch King, and then the second book was called
Yes. I know that's I can see
The Fae Keeper.
Oh my gosh, yes, I can see the cover. It's that person walking with the shaved head.
Yes.
Oh my god, I want to read them so badly.
Which, I loved those 2 books. They're incredible. They're really, really fun. And they have a new book coming out called Godly Heathens, which comes out I think in November.
Ooh.
And it's about this group of Native American teenagers who are, I think, all queer and end up with powers. Ooh. And there's deities and shit, and also the cover is real good looking, so that's always a plus. And I really liked their other 2 books that they've already put out, so I'm pretty. Like 100% in.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's my other one.
Absolutely.
I like to try and throw in something, that I was like, I don't think Eve will have heard of this.
I knew of them. I just didn't realise there was a new one, or I need to get around to reading that one. I say that of like every book you say, I'm going to read that eventually.
To be fair, I say it about quite a lot of books you say. So.
Yeah. See?
It happens. Mm-hmm. So, shall we move on to number 5?
Yep. Okay. Oh.
Biggest disappointment.
Okay.
So, I have 2 for this one.
Same.
The first answer I don't think will surprise literally anybody. Mm-hmm. Crier's War by Nina Varela.
We need to make an apology video. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for what we
Should
did.
we play the ukulele like what's her name?
Oh my god, yes. I was no. Yeah, we're
yeah,
sorry.
Crier's War. Like, I thought I would like it. It sounded like something I would like. It was a massive disappointment.
During Pride Month.
Yeah, we've done an episode on that. If you want our full, detailed thoughts about every single thing that was wrong with it.
Yeah, an hour episode of us screaming at one another about how bad the book was. We're just wanting it to end when we were reading it.
It was definitely not our favourite.
We're so sorry.
And then another one that I was quite disappointed by was a book that I read fairly recently called Skyward Inn.
Oh.
By Aaliyah Whiteley.
I heard about this, yeah.
Which is like sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about... It's set in like a future where the Earth has made contact with like this one other planet that has aliens on it. Mm-hmm. And there was a war between the two, and now it's post-war. And then it's like it's a really weird book. I think the reason I didn't like it is because it's quite lit-ficky. Mm-hmm. And I cannot fucking stand lit-fic.
Yeah.
It's not my vibe at all. And the blurb made it sound really interesting because it's like the main character runs like an inn along with an alien from the planet that they were at war with before.
Yeah.
Both of whom were veterans from the war. And now they're like running an inn together. And I was like, oh, this sounds like it could be interesting. But then it turns very strange and literary, and I just didn't like it. It was just not good.
Oh no.
So yeah, that was another disappointment for me.
I think we talked about this one because it sounded kind of cozy, but then
we might have talked about it at some point.
Yeah. Damn. Mine's in a similar vein because it was also kind of lit-ficky. I think I might have mentioned this to you, but My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Otessa Moshfegh, I think is how you pronounce their name.
I'll take your word for it.
Dear God, this book is bad. It was recommended to me by one of my lecturers, actually, and I felt bad that this book is just really, really bad. It's about a woman who basically hibernates for a year by using really strong doses of medication, and it just felt so horrible. Anyway, there's representation of a bunch of mental health conditions, and one of the conditions I have as well, and it made me feel horrendous reading it.
Oh, no.
And if I wasn't in a good space with that condition at the moment, it would have really set me off. So it was the worst book I've ever read. It's so bad. Because it's brought up in a lot of like dark academia book recommendations. If you see it in a dark academia book,
it's one of those books that I've like seen recommended a lot.
Yeah, it's recommended a lot with a lot of life and stuff, where it's just making people feel sad for no reason. And no, don't pick it up. If you see it, avoid it. It's bad. Don't do it. TikTok made this book huge for no reason. Goddamn TikTok. Yeah, but my other one was Crier's War as well. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't need to go into detail again about Crier's War.
Crier's War is horrendously bad. Let's move swiftly on to 6, which was Biggest Surprise. Oh my gosh. From the worst book ever to a surprising 5-star this year, I put Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo. I hated Ninth House.
I remember you saying how much you hated Ninth House.
I was so angry at Ninth House. It was 2 stars at best. But then I saw this book in my library. I was like, how bad could it be? I'll check. Oh my god, wait, this book is amazing. I don't understand it, but it had exactly what I wanted from a dark academia kind of novel with ghosts, paranormal stuff, ancient rituals, the underworld. Oh my gosh, I thought it was great.
Gotta love an underworld.
Yeah, exactly. Gotta love hell. Yeah, this is the only book I have for this category. I loved it. I don't know.
Yeah, no, great. It's a shame that it's book 2 in a series, though,
Right?
because you don't make me want to read the first
Yeah.
one to get to that one,
See-
so...
Part of me wants to go back and read the first one again just to see if I'd like it. But like, also part of me is
Yeah.
like, but you hated this book.
Yeah, it's probably not worth
Yeah,
it.
probably not. I'll do a recap on like, I don't know, fandom or something.
Yeah. Yes, I'm sure somebody will
Fun will have done it.
done
Yeah.
that.
Anyway,
So,
yours. Hit it.
for me, my biggest surprise was a book called Our Hideous Progeny
Oh
by C.E.
yes.
McGill. Because, much like you with oh god. I've already blanked on something you told me like 10 minutes ago.
Oh no.
Well, whatever. We can just cut that bit.
Nothing I say is that important. Don't worry.
This is historic. You were talking about Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow,
Yes.
and you were saying it's contemporary, and you don't normally read contemporary.
Yeah.
Our Hideous Progeny is historical fiction, and I don't really tend to read like historical fiction, like set in the real world.
Mm-hmm.
It's not my vibe normally, but I loved Our Hideous Progeny. It was really good. It's like set in Victorian England, and it's centered around this woman who is a scientist. She's a paleontologist, and obviously she struggles quite a lot with people not paying any attention to her because she's a woman, and obviously, you know. And she discovers that she is related to Victor Frankenstein, the guy who made the monster. And so she finds his notes about the fact that he made this monster, and she decides that the way to like get her name in all the books and to like get recognition as like a paleontologist who knows what the fuck she's talking about, she decides to try and recreate her, I think he's like her great uncle or something, his method in order to make a dinosaur and bring it to life so that she can prove that this specific species of dinosaur swims in a certain way, because like the consensus in the scientific community at the time was like that they swam or stood in a certain way, and she was like, that's wrong, guys. So it's Frankenstein crossed with Jurassic Park, set in Victorian England and Victorian Scotland, and it's gay.
I love it.
And I loved it. It was fantastic.
So good.
I didn't expect to like it at all, but I did.
Because like,
So there we go.
I saw you pick it up, and then you were so skeptical, but the week after when I saw you next, you were like, you need to read this right now.
Well, because like the blurb was good, which is why I picked it up at all.
Yeah.
But I like I said, I'm just not somebody who enjoys like historical fiction.
Yeah. Me neither.
So I was pleasantly surprised by that one.
And who doesn't love a classic retelling? Oh,
Yeah,
love it.
and it's like a fun way to do a retelling because it's not just the same story. You
Yeah.
know, it's like something a bit different.
Exactly.
So yeah, that was fun. I would definitely recommend that one. Let's move swiftly on, I guess, so we don't take too long on this episode. And go to question 7, which is favourite new author this year. So I've got a couple. Firstly, S.J. Whitby, because I've been loving the Cute Mutants series and the Cute Mutants universe, and their writing is just like very fun, and I enjoy it. I've also put down Grace Curtis, who wrote Frontier, because I loved that. It is the only book that Grace Curtis has written so far, and I need her to write more, because it was very good. And the third one I've put down is Tracy Dion, who wrote
Yes.
Legendborn, because I really liked Legendborn,
So cute.
and I'm very much looking forward to reading the sequel some point soon.
So good. I've not read the sequel, but I loved the first one. First one's good.
Yeah, it was a good book. It was like I'd had it on my TBR for ages. I was like, I should read this, and then I almost instantly found and bought the sequel. So
I've actually only got 2 down for this, and Andrew Joseph White, because I finally read Hell Followed With Us. Oh
Yes!
my god! That book,
Such a good
that
book.
book was amazing, and it's perfect for when I was in, well, I still currently am in a reading slump, but it was perfect because I actually wanted to read it. It took me longer than reading an average book, but I think that worked in its case because, oh my god, they can write.
Yeah.
And their sequel comes out this year.
It's not a sequel.
Oh, not a
but
sequel,
yeah.
but like second.
It's
like,
just another
book. Another book comes out this year. I'm excited about that. Oh my gosh. But yeah, fantastic. Thank you for the recommendation, Phoenix, because it was perfect. It's exactly what I wanted.
Anytime. I have been telling you for ages.
I know, and I finally did it. Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of myself. But
Also, incredible cover.
oh my gosh, beautiful cover. Gorgeous.
Top tier.
Looks like a stained glass window kind of vibe. I love it. A little bit.
So good.
A little bit. But my second author I've written down is not like one I've just recently found. It's one that I found again. And I'm going to say Krista Cowell. Purely because I had a hyperfixation for How to Train Your Dragon. As some of you may know from like last month's Talkin In The Tavern episode, because I raved about it. But I hadn't read the series in years, and then suddenly I was like, I'm going to read all of them. And I did. And
Yeah.
oh my god, I love them. They're such good books. And I missed Krista Cowell's writing, and I loved it so much. But yeah, that's my authors.
Nice.
Question 8. Oh my gosh.
There we go.
Newest fictional crush. I hate that I'm going first here. I hate it. Okay. I hate it so much. Okay, so if people don't know, I'm Aero Ace, so like I don't get crushes that easily when it comes to like people or book characters. That's a lie. Some of my fictional crushes are kind of like so-so. Phoenix judges me for being really into Miguel O'Hara from the new Spider-Verse movie.
Because he's just horrendously unattractive.
I love him
but
so
yes.
much. That's something that's great. I love that about him. He's so ugly, and I love him. He's so beautiful. But like, for specific books, I've went for, like, tame ones. Because I've technically read None of the Ninth this year, I can say the Cavalier of the Sixth House, Camilla Hecht. Oh,
We stan Camilla Hecht.
love Camilla
so
Hecht.
hard.
Oh, I love her. I love her so much. Cavalier and Protector of Palamedes Sextus. Oh my god. My woman. I want her back.
She's
I want her back
She's
in
so
my
good.
arms.
She's so
I love
good.
her so much. Beautiful. Read Gideon the Ninth, please. Please read it, just for her.
yeah.
But also, I'll say, because I reread Legends and Lattes this year, right before I read Bookshelf and Bowdust, so I'll say Viv again. I'm going to say Viv.
Okay.
She was already a crush from the first book, but she's back again. Beautiful, tall, muscular orc woman. She
Can't go wrong.
can't go wrong. Yeah. You have to do it now.
See, I also really struggled with this one
Yeah.
because I don't tend to get like crushes on book characters.
Yeah, me neither.
When it comes to like a fictional character crush, I am 100% about the looks. So, I took this question very literally.
Okay.
Because what it says is newest fictional crush.
Oh, okay.
Nowhere in there does it specify that this character has to be from a book.
Damn, okay. Shit.
So my answer is Lifeweaver Overlord.
Oh my god. No. He is beautiful.
Because I love
He is
him.
beautiful.
And he's very pretty.
Oh my god.
And
His skin for the his D&D skin is amazing. Oh my gosh. All his skins are amazing.
yeah,
Oh, he's a beautiful, beautiful man.
he is. But no, that is the only answer I've written down.
Fair enough.
I just like I was kind of like I almost didn't want to include this question, but it is on the list officially.
Yeah.
Because I was just like I just don't get
Don't
like
get it.
just from writing.
Yeah.
I don't get the crush like that. I need to see the person. sometimes if they're like really well described, I could maybe, but
Yeah.
certainly there's nobody from books I've read this year that I've been like, yes.
Yeah,
you
no.
know? So let's go to newest favourite character. I had to think
Same.
quite a lot about this one because there's a lot of really good characters in the books I have read this year. But I was like, who would I say is my favourite? Who would I just like love so much, you know? And I racked my brains and I was like, I've got it. So my favourite fictional character from this year, so far, is Fern from Bookshops and Bundles.
Yes!
Closely followed by Pot Roast from Bookshops and Bundles.
I have written Pot Roast down.
Yes!
Oh my gosh. Best characters ever.
I just loved them so much.
They're babies.
And also the skeleton whose name I can't remember. I felt really bad about that.
Oh, it's luggage? Something to do with luggage.
Satchel!
Satchel.
That's his name.
There we go.
Thank you. Yeah, Satchel as well for Bookshops and Bundles. They're just all so brilliant. I love them all.
I love him so much. Oh my god.
And there's been so many characters that I've like loved this year, but I would say just Travis Baldry's characters are just so well done. I
can't wait for people to get their hands
yeah.
on it in December because it's just.
I know.
It's so exciting.
November.
Is it November? Oh, perfect. November, because it's such a good book. I don't know dates. Time is irrelevant.
Time means nothing.
Time means nothing.
It's all right.
Oh no. I similarly I had Pot Roast down. I also have one other character. Well, no, two. I'll say two, because the Spider-Verse movie came out. I've read a bunch of the Spider-Man comics, including Spider-Punk, which was Hobie Brown's comic book. Love him to death. Such a cool character. I'd never actually heard of him before the new Spider-Verse movie. Yeah. I'm not very much of a Marvel aficionado on characters.
No, I don't often read like the actual comics.
No, me neither. But like
I've also just not watched many of the movies or shows recently.
Me neither, because they don't seem to be very good at the moment. They're not great, but
Nope.
Spider-Verse takes the cake for Marvel as a whole. But Spider-Punk from that. Also, because I read A Sand for the World Built by Becky Chambers, Sibling Dex from them.
Yeah.
I love Sibling Dex to death. Oh my gosh, they can do no wrong. That's all I can really say about them, otherwise I'm spoiling the plot and stuff, so...
Yep.
Yeah. Goddamn Light Weaver Overwatch.
I love him so much.
Damn! Damn him.
He's not even that good to play, but he's pretty.
Oh no. He's so OP.
I wish.
But number 10. A book that made you cry. I don't cry a lot in books or at books. There's only like specific ones. Like if it's like my favourite books, they usually make me cry because like during movie reads, but not many did it. Apart from one, which is one of my top books of this year. Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. Oh my god, I was weeping. I went on a family like drive. I was in the back of the car. My parents were in the front seat. My mum turned to me, "Stop crying so loudly."
Wait, do you read in the car?
Yeah.
You're crazy.
Thank you. I get really bad motion sickness as well, so like, I was committed.
Wow.
I was committed to this book, okay? It's
really
the
incredible.
disability and mental health awareness that's in it, and the complexity of friendships and relationships, and not feeling enough in the world that you're put in, and oh my god, it's perfection. I love this book. I hate the cover of the paperback.
Yeah, it's just not as good.
Why is it pink? And where did they put Erin Morgenstern? They removed her from the
Oh no!
the little like reviews because she's on the front cover of the hardback, but then she is dissed and put out into the atmosphere for the paperback.
Damn,
They did that to
demoted.
my woman. Demoted, and for what? But yeah, that's the only book that made me cry this year. That's literally been it.
Yeah. I also only have one book that made me cry this year.
Yeah.
Because I also don't cry a lot at books, but
Yeah.
In the Lives of Puppets by T.J. Klune.
Oh, yes.
All three. I've read House in the Cerulean Sea and Under the Whispering Door and In the Lives of Puppets, all by T.J. Klune, and they have all made me cry.
Damn. They're so good.
Yeah. I would also just an honourable mention, because I didn't read it this year, but None of the Ninth also made me cry. That was the book before this that made me cry. So
Same. The final chapter in None of the Ninth, real tears.
anyway,
Sorry, go ahead.
before we both get lost in the locked-in emotions.
We'll do an episode for it. It'll be fine.
Oh yeah. It might be after Electro comes out, though. I don't know.
Yeah.
It depends on
We'll see.
if and when that gets a release date.
Yeah.
So then let's move on to books that made you happy, which is question 11. So I also kind of struggled on this one because like I read a lot of books that are that make me, that I don't cry at. But also I was like, what books have I read this year that made me smile, that I just was like, this is nice. And I read a graphic novel called Bloom by
Yes.
Kevin Panetta. Yeah. And
Yeah.
it was just really sweet and really wholesome, and it was just I was just smiling, and I was like, yeah.
Oh.
So I would say that was a book that made me happy this year.
Oh, I love that. Bloom's so pretty.
It is. It's beautiful art. Because normally, obviously with graphic novels, the art is one of the things I look at right off the bat when I'm deciding whether to buy one. And a lot of the time, when it's just a sort of monocolor vibe, because Bloom is all just shades of blue.
It fits it so well.
And that quite often I'm I don't know. I like a bit of color, But it's just it works so well. It's so beautiful. So yeah.
It really does. Beautiful. I don't read a lot of happy books. Okay, so there's usually death, destruction, and angst in my books. So, this one's not it's not a 5-star read, this book. It's just fun. It's Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers by Jessie Q. Sutanto, I think. I'm butchering these names, I apologise. But it is quirky and so fun to read. You're in the mind of a 70, 80-year-old 80s Asian woman who owns a tea parlour and solves a murder. And just the way she talks to everyone is just so funny. I was smiling the entire time.
Yay!
It's obvious who did it, but it's fun. It's so fun. It's so cute. I loved it.
Nice.
It was so cute. But yeah, that's that's the only thing that's made me happy.
Wow.
Damn. Okay.
Yeesh.
Murder. We'll go on to number 12, if that's okay. Favourite book adaptation this year. Woo. I have 2 written down for this. One that's fairly recent, one that's from a while ago. So I'll go with the one from a while ago first, just to get it over with. But I don't know if this was last year that it came out or this year. Don't remember. But it was definitely cancelled this year. Lockwood and Co. by Jonathan Stroud. That was on Netflix. Netflix recently cancelled it. Oh my gosh. Paranormal investigators who are kids, and it's just so fun and so sweet. I didn't really... I read the books when I was younger, didn't really like them, but I love the show for some reason. It just felt so much better. And I never say that about shows and movies.
Yeah.
I don't know what they put in this show, but it was so good. And now it's gone. Why Netflix? Why?
Netflix sucks.
Netflix does suck.
Fuck Netflix.
But
except...
You know what? Except, you know what Netflix has just given us? Nimona.
Yes!
Oh
Nimona!
My god.
This is my answer as well, just so that we could just launch right into talking about it. This was also my answer for this one.
5 minutes before we started, I was like, wait, I feel like we're gonna just talk about this movie, so I'll just note down something else quickly. But like, damn! This movie.
So good.
Nimona is based off a graphic novel, for those who don't know. And it's about a shapeshifter and a hero and a villain who all have...
Yeah.
And oh my god, oh...
Yeah, so
I'm just making sounds now about how much I
the
loved
hero and the villain are both knights, and something happens that the villain, in quotes, knight ends up getting like blamed for, and then Nimona finds him and is like, hey, you need a sidekick. And so she basically like turns herself into his sidekick. And then it's really fun and really funny,
It's
and
so
then
good.
really sad, and then really
It's-
beautiful.
oh my god, it was devastating.
The graphic novel and the movie are also like slightly different stories. So if you like see it on Netflix and then you're like, oh, I liked this, then you can still go and read the graphic novel because it doesn't like totally follow. So
Yeah.
do
There's
that.
things that are like different.
Yeah, like the sort of plot is a little bit different, but
Yeah.
the movie it's I would also say it's probably one of the best like adaptations of,
Oh, 100%.
of anything that I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
Because
I'm
Andy
applauding.
Stevenson was so heavily involved in the adaptation right from the start, so it was
As
just
they should.
yeah, it's just incredible. It's also got like a pretty star-studded cast, so
Yeah. I didn't
Great
realise Eugene from the Try Guys was in it. That blew
Yep.
my mind.
Yep.
It was like the day of release. I was like, wait a minute.
It's really
Yeah.
good, and it's really funny, and it's good for kids, it's good for adults. It's just like,
Perfect.
yeah, fantastic.
Go watch it.
Yeah, go watch it. Okay. Question 13, second to last, we're nearly done, is the most beautiful book you bought this year. So mine was easy. Because I bought Illumicrate's Becky Chambers Wayfarers series set, and they are so pretty. They're
Oh my
beautiful.
God.
They've got the covers are the same covers as the UK editions, but they're hardback without a dust jacket, which I fucking love because I hate dust jackets. And they're foil engraved onto the covers, and then they've got lovely sprayed edges, and they're signed, and they're just so beautiful.
I'm so jealous.
I love them so much. I
They're
missed out
beautiful.
on the Illumicrate Locked Tomb set like a couple of months beforehand,
They might do it again for
which they might
like,
do
oh,
again,
we'll
but
see.
I missed out on the list for it because I set my alarm on the wrong day by accident. I set it the day after it went live, so by the time I got there it was already sold out, and I was not going to miss my chance for this one, and I didn't, and I'm so glad because they're so pretty.
They are. They're so good. We talked about it for weeks before you bought them, and oh my god,
Yep.
they're beautiful. They did Becky Chambers right.
They really did. I'm so
They
glad
really,
that
really
they
did.
like. I'm glad they didn't like redesign the covers or anything because the UK covers for
Yeah.
those books are so nice.
They're so good. I'm not a huge fan of the US ones.
No, the US ones are not my vibe.
Not at all. They look like
Not
classic
at all.
sci-fi books, and I'm just like, nah. Mine's fairly simple as well. Hell Followed With Us is probably the prettiest book this year I own. I don't buy a lot of books. That's a lie. But yeah, it's perfect. Looks like a mural. The religious symbolism in it is perfection. Love it to death. I also got The Hunger of the Gods by John Gwynne, the sequel to something else. I haven't read it yet. It's beautiful. It's the perfect kind of like symbiosis of like not symbiosis, combination of gore and animals and like scale, and it's just beautiful.
Nice.
I love it anyway. Big wolf with blood coming out of its mouth. Oh, who
Hell
doesn't love
yeah.
that? Who doesn't love that?
Now that's the vibe.
Exactly. Okay, we'll move on to, oh my gosh, our final question.
Yay!
Holy crap. Books you really need to read by the end of the year. Oh my gosh. I've read half of this book, Rhythm of War by Brandon Sanderson. I need to finish it. I'm going to finish it this year. I've read half. I don't know why I put it down. I'm in a reading slump. I don't know what life is anymore. Okay? I need to read it. I need to finish it. It'd be grand. I also want to read Good Omens by Neil Gaiman because the second season's coming out. I love the first season. Never read the book. I feel
really?
terrible about
it's,
it.
It's a really good book.
I feel terrible. I feel like I'm doing Neil Gaiman wrong.
And Sir Terry Pratchett. Let's not leave him out of this.
I'm sorry, Terry Pratchett. I adored the first season, so I need to read it because, God, it's so good. Yeah. And plus, they filmed part of Good Omens season 2 in my hometown.
Oh yeah,
it's literally a rock throw away from my house. Is where they filmed it. I met David Tennant. I shouted something funny at him, and he laughed at me.
It's a claim to fame if ever I heard one.
Someone was covered in blood. I was having a great time. Books you really need to get to, Phoenix?
Yeah, so
Hit us with it.
I was like, I've got a lot of books on my TBR, but for this I was like, what are the books that have been on my TBR the longest? So, I have Piranesi by Susanna Clarke.
Yes, so good.
I've heard so many good things about, and I got it like ages ago. It must have been like March, April last year.
Damn, okay. It's so good.
And I just like never got around to it, and I'm like, I should just read it. So I definitely want to read that by the end of the year. And also Sea of Tranquility by Emily St. John Mandel.
Yes!
Which I've also heard really good things about. And again, I think I picked it up around the same time. It's actually a proof of the book. So it's probably... So it's from before the book came out.
Damn, okay.
And I haven't read it. But I was like, I'm keeping this because I'm going to read it. So those are my two that I definitely, I mean, beside all the other ones that I'm going to read, those are the ones that I definitely want to have read by the end of the year. Yeah, so I think that's us.
That's us. Oh my gosh.
Insane. Make sure to, stick around on this feed to get an episode in 2 weeks for our July book club book, which was Cursed Cocktails by S.L. Rowland.
So good.
Which we both really enjoyed. Spoiler for the episode, but we did.
Which is really good after last month.
Yeah. So
flashback.
Hang around for that in a couple of weeks, and of course in early August sometime we should hopefully have another episode of Talkin In The Tavern. I will say that Talkin In The Tavern next month might be a little bit delayed because I am moving into a new house and we won't have Wi-Fi to begin with, so it might be a little while before we can record it. Likewise with August's book club book episode, they might be a bit shunted, but we'll try not to if we can avoid it.
We'll try our best, but you know how stuff happens in life, so but it's fine.
Exactly.
And you're moving.
I'm moving.
That's
buying
huge.
a house like a stupid person.
Oh, in this economy?
I know, literally. So, let's quickly go through social media. So, Eve, where can they find you?
Well, about that, I've had a complete rebrand of all of my social media. Literally everything. So, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, you can all find me under the handle now, Cozy Crow. Cozy as the UK spelling with an S and not a Z. Because why is it with a Z? It's crazy. I need to go back and edit the episodes so they'll have them in the description. But yeah, Cozy Crow, literally everywhere. I love that new handle. And I love it better than what I had before. And Cozy Crow.
It's definitely something I would recommend, is just having one username everywhere.
Because I had 3. What was I doing? Phoenix, where can they find you in the wild?
Yeah. So, much like Eve, I have one handle everywhere. So I am on Twitter and Instagram, and Instagram, Meta, just put out a new Twitter alternative app called Threads, which, if you have an Instagram account, you can just log in with your Instagram account onto that, and I've been kind of enjoying it. It's it's got some ways to go before it'll be ideal, but
Uh-huh.
given the
It'll
state
be
of
better than
Twitter, it's quite nice to have something that feels like a viable alternative, because there's been lots of like stuff thrown about. But anyway,
Yeah.
so I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, and I'm on Threads, and I'm at Beans and Fungi on all of those. And I will also say that my book review blog is on indefinite hiatus, officially. I kept saying, I'll get back to it, but I'm so busy and I just don't have the time or the energy to do it, so it's on indefinite hiatus. So in the July episode for the book club, you're going to hear me plug that, but you can just ignore it.
Yeah. Well, I'll put something in the description that says don't go to this.
Yeah, it's fine.
Or go to it, but there's going to be nothing new there.
Yeah, exactly. It's still on Instagram and Twitter. It's just I'm not going to be adding anything to it for the foreseeable future. And what about the podcast, Eve? Where can they find us?
Oh, you monster! I don't have the stuff up.
I'll do it then. You can find us at Hearth and Tome on Twitter, or at Hearth and Tome Pod on Instagram. Pew pew pew.
Thank you.
And we're also just, if you search like Hearth and Tome Book Club on any podcast platform, you should find us, in theory.
Yeah. We'll be there somewhere. In the midst.
Probably.
In the walls. We're here, someone help.
Get us out.
Hold on.
Anyway. Let's stop before we both lose our minds.
Anyway, thank you.
Thank you for listening. Bye.
Bye. Hope to see you soon, traveller. The music used within this episode was Wholesome by Kevin MacLeod. Licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 4.0 license from incompetech.com.